LoZ New Comic Book Day!
What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another installment of the LoZ's NCBD, also known as Legion on Zoom's New Comic Book Day. That's not just a bunch of vitamins, but you should be taking your vitamins. Just a quick side note. Miguel, what do we have out in the stands? 6/16/2021.
Ándale, exacto. So exactly, people out there, fucking, it's Wednesday, fucking June 16th. Go out there, go to Midtown Comic, go to your local comic book shop, or just go to Comixology online. Fucking just do it. Just get them digitally, and find the books you get. So these are the ones we're recommending. Come with the LoZ seal of approval for at least what we're expecting. Hopefully they'll be good. If they're trash, don't blame us. Because one of the books we're recommending right now. So finally, from Image Comic Books, Mark Millar is giving us the sequel to the sequel, or whatever it would be, the next story in Jupiter's Legacy. We're getting Jupiter's Legacy Requiem, #1 of 12. It's a limited series. It's not going to be, I'm a little bit disappointed. It's not going to be illustrated by Frank Quietly, but it's going to be illustrated by Tommy Lee Edwards. Don't know the guy. Saw the work. Looks pretty cool. But it's supposed to be now set in continuing on where Jupiter's Legacy ended. I thought it was funny because I was reading the description for it, and it's like the next chapter in Netflix's global phenomenon begins here. I'm like, oh, really though? What a phenomenon, because it got canceled, right? Like, and it barely touched the fucking surface of like the actual Jupiter's Legacy, Jupiter's Circle stories, right? So this is set apparently far in the future where Hutch and Chloe, well, Chloe's the main character, and Hutch, the son of Skyfox, had a kid, which is like this new utopian. Apparently in this series, it's them further in the future with more kids, and like there's trouble brewing among them. And so it's like, all right, so I'm curious to see. Come on, we like Mark Millar. Kind of a little bit of a letdown after the show got canceled, but that's an Image book we recommend. I don't know.
And that sucks, yo, because the cancellation on Netflix would probably affect sales of the book.
Yo, especially with that tagline about like that tagline, Netflix is phenomenon. It's like, oh, it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, word.
Nah,
they had high hopes.
Yeah, they made those shirts really, really early.
Like, I'm sure probably people who were fans of the book are the ones who are going to buy it. I'm sure not anybody new. Nobody that saw the show is probably going to buy the book now. I don't know. We'll see.
Except
why you gotta hate so much? Utopian was epic. Fans, if you haven't seen him, go look at him. He's Jesus, God, Thor, Superman.
If you haven't seen the show, we recommend. Well, yeah, you probably should watch it, but also go to our YouTube and you'll see LoZ reviews. We go deep into Jupiter's Legacy. We'll give our ratings, and you'll see how we get into it. And we talk about the book too a little bit. So we recommend that to get up to date for you to read this book. And yes, you can see right now if you're watching us on YouTube right now, Ches disapproves by the red color, the red hue in his background.
I'm very upset. I'm very upset right now. That show's horrible.
Your bros are Red Lantern right now. Shit. All right. So, but moving from Image, we got some Marvel Selects picks. I've been raving about this book. I'm gonna keep raving. You have to read this. Heroes Reborn, 7 out of 7 comes out today. By fucking Jason Aaron, art illustrated by Aaron Kuder now, who's I've loved his work from past. He did this Avengers AI one run once, and he did the
it was a really good book.
It
was the writer or artist?
The artist, yeah.
Yo,
which was
really
written by
book.
I don't know who it was, but yeah, no, and with this ending story with Ed McGuiness, I highly recommend this book. It's been so much fun. Each issue deals with a member of the Squadron Supreme in this universe where the Avengers never existed. It's so fun to see Jason Aaron's take on this twisted version of DC Justice League characters. The last one was the Power Princess, who's Wonder Woman, who's like a vicious, fucking violent Wonder Woman. Very fucking cool book. And what's exciting about this last issue is that at the end of each one of the books, it's about Blade getting the Avengers back together. And so now they're all together. They just found Black Panther, and Thor also reawakened. epically fighting power princes. Like imagine Thor fighting Wonder Woman. Come on, a
Wow.
Wonder Woman who has a fucking axe with a chunk of the Rainbow Bridge from Asgard.
Yo, that's sick.
That's crazy.
That's how
And drawn
cool.
by Ed McGuiness.
Yeah, well,
He's done great.
exactly. Like it's a mix of, because every issue it's drawn by a different artist, and the last story is Ed McGuiness, and so it's Ed McGuiness drawing that, and then somebody else. But honestly, each artist has been different, but they've been so good. Each artist is fucking fantastic, and it was Andrea something who did the last one, the Power Princess one. Beautiful work. I highly recommend it because I'm excited. Now it's going to be Squadron Supreme against the Avengers. But Squadron Supreme are kind of noticing that the reality is not a good reality, that it's fake or something. It's awesome. So I really recommend this book. And the other big ass, if you're gonna buy anything else, then buy this one, Planet Sized X-Men #1 by Gerry Duggan and Pepe Larraz. We've been talking about the Hellfire Gala, these big things that they're doing. This is supposed to be the big book that changes everything. Throughout the Hellfire Gala books that we mentioned, they've been hinting at that they're doing something big. They're getting some of the key hitter X-Men's, like they got Storm, they got Iceman, they got Jean Grey, doing something on the side. Also with Mikhail Rasputin, who's like this like god basically like being. It has something to do with Marz. We don't know. I think they're gonna colonize Marz. I don't know what the fuck they're doing.
What the fuck?
Yeah. The last issue for the Hellfire Gala from the week before, which I think was the X-Men book, X-Men #21 by Hickman, which we recommended, ended with that big cliffhanger of showing us the mutants in Marz a little bit. And if you're a fan of Hickman, you know he loves Marz. He always includes Marz in his stories. He did it. In his Avengers run. I don't think he included Marz in Fantastic Four, really. But he's had Marz in his own stories, in his own creative own stories and image. Like there's a book called like something about Marz, right? Red Tales about Marz, or right? Rod, I think, didn't you read that?
No, I don't think I read that one.
Well, anyway, but it's a big ass fucking book, big game changing for the X-Men. So we recommend that. And then other than that, just some shout outs from Marvel. The last one is Venom 200 by Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman. It's ending their run on Venom, which has been dope. It's been made Venom such more bigger than whatever it was, from just a little fucking goo that Spider-Man brought to Earth from fucking Secret Wars, to this connection to this god of the darkness, Null, and there's Venoms all over the universe, and there was a planet of Venoms that kept the god in stasis. It's the epic.
What is happening?
Damn.
It's huge.
That scope is
huge.
crazy.
Yeah, the scope is insane. It relates back to the Thor run, actually, by Jason Aaron. There was which we're gonna see in the next movie. They're gonna have Gore, the God Butcher. His sword is apparently a symbiote sword. It's a Clintar sword. The Necro sword, which belonged to the god Null. It's intense. It's their last book. I'm sure they're gonna end in a bang. So we recommend that. That's it for Marvel. And last ones are for DC. We have been raving the fuck out of Tom Taylor's Nightwing. Nightwing #81 comes out, illustrated by Bruno Redondo. I dare say I think it's the best DC book out right now out of the new ones. I think it's the best one. It made me a Nightwing fan. Rod's been a Nightwing fan for fucking ever.
And that's why I really like the book. It's because it kind of like brings back a lot of the great things from the original Chuck Dixon, Scott McDaniel run. And, I wasn't really big on the New 52 version of Bloodhaven or the Rebirth one. Still, it was off. And now Tom Taylor came back and really brought it back to like the Bronx of Gotham. That's Bloodhaven. So there you go, Nightwing.
That's fucking weird. So it's like, which I've always found that to be crazy. So it's like Gotham is like, up until the creation of Bloodhaven, Gotham was like the worst city in America. So fucking Bloodhaven is worse.
The inner city of the worst city.
But Bloodhaven's another city, though.
Yeah,
right?
it's another city, right?
But it's close to Gotham, of course, because they have to communicate.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
yeah,
we should get a map. and see
Yeah,
how it looks.
I'm glad they brought it back because for a while they made it like a Las Vegas kind of deal. No, on Atlantic City they made it, which I thought was kind of stupid. And they had him move to Chicago in the New 52. I don't know what was happening. Big mess. Tom Taylor brings all that lore back in a nice package for newcomers. And like you said, Miguel, like it's your favorite DC book. And it's great for like old OGs like me that want to like see the character in his like natural habitat. And also like new things are happening. There's a new villain involved, brand new by this creative team. So yeah.
Yeah, and the big thing with this issue is that Nightwing is finally facing this new villain called Heartless, which is actually pretty gory. That's what he does. He takes the heart out of victims. And so the last issue ended epically in this, in this fire scene where Nightwing finally sees him and they're going to face off. And so it's just fucking a great book. And like Rod said, if you're not a fan of Nightwing, you don't know much of his history, that doesn't matter. Just pick up this book. This would be the third issue, I think, or fourth of Tom Taylor's run.
It's the third. Wait, yeah. 78, 79. It's the fourth.
81. It's issue 81. So we recommend this so fucking much. And the other book, last book from DC that's coming out that would be exciting, that actually kind of relates a little bit of Nightwing to some degree. So we got Tom King. We've talked about Tom King before. He's writing so many good books. Some people, either you love or you hate Tom King. If you're one of the people that love Tom King, you're going to want to read this. It's Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. His take on Supergirl is going to be illustrated by Bilquis Evely, who's actually, I didn't know about her work before, her art, but it's fucking dope. It's really good art. She had a few issues in Detective Comics that I read recently in the DC Universe Infinite app, which we'll just get into. And I highly recommend this book. I like Tom King. He's written good stuff. Great Batman run. Great Adam Strange Adventures run. Mr. Terrific was incredible. Heroes in Crisis was okay. I don't think it was his best work. Rod,
great
what did you
on Grayson?
Yeah, what did you think of that?
Is this like a Black Label story, or is it like it within the continuity? Do you know?
You know what? I think it's Black Label. I don't know.
I'm hoping
for
that's
sure
what it is.
It's a limited series. I do know that.
Yeah, I kind of like it when right now I'm reading more like multiverse stories because DC has more wiggle room to do shit versus like you keep the characters very stoic and the same over time. So like I really like these Black Label books. So if this is that, if this is kind of like an Elseworlds tale, I mean,
yeah, and
even if not, if it's even continuity, it's Tom King, so it's worth checking out.
Right, and all I know about it's good art, and it's about some other alien type person that their planet got destroyed, that they want to get revenge on the people who did it, and they kind of get Supergirl's help. And then that's kind of the premise. And like Supergirl kind of struggling with that because obviously she's not going to kill anybody, but like obviously it comes, hits close to home. So those are our weeklies fucking. So go out through the comic book shop, go to your digital shop on Comixology and get these fucking books.
Buy shit, jerks.
All right, let's move on to the apps now. So if you're a DC Universe Infinite subscriber, then your new releases come out on the 15th. So the same date that their weeklies come out. So that's their day, right? It's Tuesday. So it came out yesterday, right?
Exactly.
So our picks for me, I have another Tales of the Dark Multiverse book because I just love that. But although I read the last one, The War of the Gods, Wonder Woman, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? Like, it's the weakest of that whole lines. They've all been like great. I've enjoyed all of them except that one, so very disappointed. But this one's going to be the Flashpoint Dark Multiverse tale where apparently something goes awry in the Flashpoint timeline and creates a dark multiverse, yada yada. I just like that. I just like it because, like, again, DC just does whatever the fuck they want to do, a la Deceased or Injustice. So I'm sold.
And then apparently, right, because this one is going to be written and illustrated by Bryan Hitch. So, like, come on, Bryan Hitch from classic Ultimates run. We just mentioned that he's going to be taking on the reins with Venom. So he's a good artist. He's a good writer too. I think he wrote the Justice League, no? The Rebirth Justice League. Was it?
Yeah.
Chess, you read that, I think, or wanted to read it.
Yeah, I believe I still have it on my backlog of shit to read. It's on Comixology though, unlimited.
I couldn't get past the first issue.
Damn.
Well,
But
with that
I
stellar review, get into this one.
I
though.
do love his art though. I'll give
Yeah,
him
he's a
that.
good artist, man. Shit. And then besides the DC Universe, I'm gonna just quick plug. We've talked about Detective Comics before. On the DC Universe app, we have Detective Comics number 1032 by Peter J. Tomasi and Brad Walker, which is the second to last book before the new creative team takes over, Mariko Tamaki and Dan Mora, which we interviewed. So I would highly recommend you guys check out the episode where we talked about Dan Mora and his process on Detective Comics and Batman. But this is a cool story. It's kind of setting up how Gotham's becoming more against vigilantes. There's a mayor running to kick the vigilantes out and have them unmask, which connects to the Future State storyline if you read that a few months ago. And Brad Walker actually is a pretty great artist. He did a few Detective Comics issues before, and I was surprised. I don't know. I don't think people have given him the love he deserves. He illustrates a pretty dope Batman and pretty cool action scenes. And so it's a fun action-packed book. This story specifically issue is supposed to set Batman kind of versus Damian, actually dealing still with the shit with Alfred's death and this new stuff with the anti-vigilante stuff. So that's my pick from the app.
All right, cool. And I'm gonna wrap up one more pick. So last week I gave the Justice League Endless Winter number 1 was a recommendation. So this week we're getting, or we already got yesterday, we got Superman Endless Winter Special number 1. So the premise of that story, it kind of reminds me of like it takes place both in the present and a past storyline, a la Avengers 1 billion BC or something like that. So there's a team with like Hippolyta, Teth Adam, Swamp Thing, and some new character called like Viking Guardian, some shit like that. I think that's his name.
Not fucking with Viking Guardian.
So then they defeat this kind of frost giant-esque villain who's gonna, wrap the world and this winter.
Of course.
Right. So
but not Frost Giant from Thor Asgard. Frost Giant,
but the story reads
original
like
DC.
So like this is the counter to the Heroes Reborn, where they're using like a DC team. I feel like this story is kind of like a Marvel kind of deal. Like they're like playing that riff with their characters.
What did you think? I'm glad. I like that you commented, because the last Dark Multiverse you said it wasn't that good. How was you recommended last week this winter Endless Winter? How was it? Did you like it?
Yeah, so this story takes place in continuity. So like it kind of, you get briefed on where the characters are, so you don't have to read whatever issue of Justice League is out. Like it focuses around Barry Allen, and he's catching up with each member in a way, and by that you get all the context. And then like it like I mentioned, it unfolds into this story that's both, taking place in the present and in the past. And I mean, it's a pretty fun read. So if you got the app, check it out. So that wraps up the digital releases for the week.
Yo, dope. And I will say, like, this Superman one is written by Andy Lanning, who I'm a fan of his work. Especially because he's written stuff with Dan Abnett, who they did the Guardians of the Galaxy famous fucking run with Star-Lord, that basically what you've seen in the movies, that's what these guys wrote. Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning, amazing fucking run. And so they're good, they're great. So that in and of itself makes me want to fucking read this shit.
And there you have it, folks. Fucking go read shit, go buy shit, so we can keep seeing shit getting made. It's all interconnected. It's called capitalism. That's how it works.
Yes, exactly. Go consume.
Facts. And work out that fucking gray matter. All right, peeps. This is Ches. We are the Legion.
Miguel, peace.
This is Rod. Peace out.